That didn't work. What am I going to do? And I remembered in my bag I had a roll of electrician's tape, black electrician's tape. So that had to substitute. And I tell you what, if you ever get stuck, kids, it did a bloody good job, I'll tell you. Because I still had it on when we got home. I biked in it as well.
You could have borrowed a bra.
I don't need a bra anymore. Well, I will in 3 months because I'll have put them back, they'll grow them back. But
welcome to this episode of
the Full Distance Podcast. Hey! Got there.
Good evening, my love.
Good evening, you alright?
Yeah, you?
Yeah.
So normally we'd do this and you would be catching up after you've been working away, but you've been home recently.
I have. I am at home, which is nice, but not actually that good for training.
No, it's been crap, hasn't it?
Yeah, because it's an hour or over an hour at the end of the day travelling back from work, and training's been quite hectic.
Yeah.
For the last couple of weeks, because we're only now 1 week away from Tembe. So we're just on taper now, training wise.
Don't live with a tapering triathlete.
They are, tell you what, I'm eating for 5 people at the minute, can't stop, it's just unreal. We go to shop every day, supermarket run every day. I need to remember after the Ironman to stop eating, because otherwise I'll be...
Have you still got your fat wardrobe?
Yeah, I've still got my fat clothes, so I can put them back on in about 3 months' time. I need to keep a bit ripped for Hawaii. I don't want to look crap on the beach, because it'll be full of Americans all shouting and hollering and all that, so can't be having that. So, so what have we been doing? Training. You're back training properly.
I am.
Which is good.
Fully.
So you're fully at it. You've been out doing some interesting bike stuff, haven't you?
Yes.
Quite fast speeds. Yeah.
Been chain ganging, been doing
chain
what I used
ganging
to
on
do.
your bike. Yeah. You have averaging 25 mile an hour, or more than 25 mile an hour, was it? Making you, making you work a bit.
Yeah.
Good, which is what
taking me out
you
of my comfort zone a bit.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So you've been out with a bunch of lads who've been dragging you along. Although I think you've been doing a bit of dragging as well.
Yeah, teamwork.
Yeah, exactly.
Minute on, minute off.
Yeah, good. So together, anything we've really done together or event-wise since the last podcast
Rutland Water.
was the Rutland Water Swim, which we went and did. Probably, what was it, about 4 weeks ago now? 3 or 4 weeks ago.
And you can beat this one out because it wasn't horrendous.
It was horrendous. So we went down, didn't we?
Worst swim ever.
We went on, what, worse than Ironman Wales?
Yes, it was rank.
You heard it here first. Now, I never thought that anyone would ever say that was worse than Ironman Wales 2022, because I thought that was the worst swim ever, according to everyone who did it. But apparently the Rutland one was worse. In a reservoir, it was like 2k out, 2k back. So the first 2k going out was quite nice.
Gorgeous.
It was all right. It was a bit awkward breathing. Maybe you have to breathe to the left a bit more because it was, But you didn't really realise, did you, until you got to the far end to Normanton Church and turned to come back, that you'd actually been swimming with a back wind for 2k. We then had 2k into a headwind. Because when I got to the buoy to turn, so there was a double right, wasn't there? So I got to the first one, turned right, swam along, got to the second one, to be met by 50 people just bobbing up and down in the water who didn't really know what to do. Because there was waves on a reservoir, and it's like people were just panicking really. And I thought, hell, it's a long way back. I can't breaststroke it. It's going to take me a fortnight, so I've just got my head down and set off. So it was good training.
It was very good. I think you'll have got a lot out of that weekend. It was very challenging. I think you learn how to adapt to swimming. So if the waves are coming one side, you need to breathe from the other side.
Definitely.
And I think that's a good knowledge and a good tick underneath your belt for you going into Wales.
I had to breathe to the right all the time and then sight to the left just by picking my head up. But that seemed to work. But it was one of those, I've heard people talk about it, where you go for a stroke and there's no water there. Or you're sort of in mid-air. And then the next time you go for a stroke, your arm doesn't even come out of the water because you're in the middle of a wave and your arm just goes through it. So it's quite weird. But now I seem to have got over that fear of drowning. Once I've got my head around it, I've just got to get on with it and get there. It's like, just get on with it. And I did. So it was a pretty steady swim. It was 1 hour 43 for me. But I was quite pleased with that because I thought 1 hour 43 in pretty dodgy conditions, 2k straight into a headwind and rough. I was quite pleased with the time, to be honest. I did look very impressed on the picture when I got out of the water. And I don't think I smiled at the photographer. I think if I did say anything, it probably wasn't very polite. But yeah, I kept myself entertained on the way back by looking at the weeds that were growing up from the bottom of Rutland water. Take my mind off it, because you have to take your mind off it swimming, don't you? Because no one likes it, do they? Come on, no one likes swimming. Everybody who you speak to, I hate swimming. So yeah, that was interesting. Me and you did that with Phil, Nick, and Alex Fontaine. Yeah, good old Alex Fontaine. Not seen him for ages. So it was all right.
That's a good weekend. So you showed me your training ground, when you've been working away. So
I did.
I was very impressed. There's some very good hilly routes around there.
Thanks.
We didn't have the best of weathers, did we?
No, we didn't.
Got absolutely soaked on the bike on the Saturday. We sacked that off, home.
Went for a run
instead. And if that... your training haven, as we'll call it down there, has been perfect. So it was really nice to see or know that you'd had a really good, solid...
that's a good run loop, actually. That 7 mile loop with some nice long hills in it. Yeah. The only thing was, we did that on the Saturday, didn't we?
I did a recce of the Vitruvian bike.
You did a recce of the Vitruvian bike on the... Sunday. After the swim. And I went out and did 35, 40 miles, whatever I did, on a slightly different route. But you recce'd the Vitruvian bike route because...
I'm doing the Vitruvian in 2 weeks.
You're doing the Vitruvian in 2 weeks as a warm-up to Kona. Just like to, before we get away from the Rutland thing, the one thing that did happen when we went for the run in the rain, because it was absolutely hammering it down, all the way around for like 7 miles, it was torrential. Oh God, I had jogger's nipple. Man, my t-shirt was actually, it was stuck to me, I couldn't get it off. It was that tight. I think about taking it off at one point. Which meant in the morning on the Sunday of the swim, I went to put my tri-suit on to wear under my wetsuit, and as soon as I zipped it up, I was like, oh my God, I was in agony. We didn't have any plasters or anything, so I tried a little bit of Vaseline, then put it on and went, no.
You even tried Carmex because you didn't have any Vaseline.
No, I did, it was strawberry flavoured Carmex, bit of lip balm. That didn't work. What am I going to do? And I remembered in my bag I had a roll of electrician's tape, black electrician's tape. So that had to substitute. And I tell you what, if you ever get stuck, kids, it did a bloody good job, I'll tell you. Because I still had it on when we got home. I biked in it as well.
You could have borrowed a bra.
I don't need a bra anymore. Well, I will in 3 months because I'll have put them back, they'll be grown back. But so electrician's tape did a great job. Saved me really.
So that's a good lesson that you've learned.
It is, because that was good. I wore that for the swim. Then after the swim, got changed, got my bike gear, I went for a bike ride, left the tape on. I still had the tape on when we got home at tea time. So it was good. Good quality electrician's tape, obviously.
Will you wear that?
This? Oh, the tape?
The tape before Wales?
Ooh, you see...
This is something here to think about, because obviously when you're going in the water, it's wet. If it rains, how will it be? Because you're just going to be you in your tri-suit.
This is something I'll have to plan with the weather, because obviously you are wet when you come out of the water. Take your wetsuit off, tri-suit's wet, but the first thing you do is get on the bike.
Did you?
So it shouldn't be an issue
experience
because it
any
should be
of it?
dry after that.
Did you experience any of it at Lakesman?
No,
Okay.
I didn't at the Lakesman. But I think I'll have to look at the weather. And if it's going to rain, I might have to put some on just in case. But we'll see. That's
You don't want bleeding nipples on the run.
Oh, I don't want that. No. I'm imagining I'll be that numb with pain I won't feel it by then anyway.
Oh.
But anyway, no, let's not go down that route. I'll think about that on the day before to see whether I need to put a bit of tape on them.
Okay.
So sorry for interrupting. Where were we? So yeah, you've entered the Vitruvian.
Yeah, so I've got that in 2 weeks.
Which is
Rutland
Water, and it's one of the oldest triathlons
I think so.
in England or the UK. It's been going quite a long time.
Yeah. So it's just a bit of a warm up race for me. Get used to the transition, swim, back, run all in one go, and then run up to Kona, which I've just realised today before we started filming, which is 6 weeks away. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm starting to feel a little bit nervous.
You're not as nervous as me. Don't worry. You've got 6 weeks. I've got 7 days. So yeah, don't worry. So that'll be a good little warm up for you, won't it? Mm-hmm. And I'll be on my crutches probably.
You better not be.
Only because my legs are knackered that I can't walk. I could borrow something to ride around on.
What, a scooter? Like a mobility scooter? Yeah. Don't you been milking it like days after?
Yeah.
It's for one day.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Yeah, it's only one day. Who told me that? Steve Grocock. Thank you. So, yeah, so you're doing that the week after. Which will be quite good. Is it middle distance? I don't know. It is middle distance.
Yeah.
So that'll be a nice little training step for you then, won't it? Because then you'll be literally a month away from racing at Kona. So, yeah, so you're training, you're now back into it, and you've been ramping up a bit, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been putting in some good miles. I've done quite a couple of big, long runs with you.
Yeah. Well, you weren't really running with me. You set off with me and then leave me behind. So it's... Yeah, but it is what it is.
You called me Chris last night.
Yeah, I did, yeah. But that's because,
That's because I went off and left you.
That's a private joke for those who know. Those who biked with Chris know what I mean. Yeah, so all's good though. No flare-ups from your injury. You're still...
Managing it.
Yeah. You're still alright.
Yeah.
So everything's looking good.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just in the process of designing your new tri-suit as well, aren't you? Yeah. Ready for Hawaii?
I am.
Yeah.
So get that sorted and all be revealed.
Yeah, it'll be a bit more, and it'll be exciting when that arrives, won't it? So people have been asking me about the heat. Because obviously it's going to be quite warm, isn't it?
Yeah, so I've been doing, I think... I know the swim. I know the bike is going to be the best part of Hawaii for me, I think, because it's just a complete biker's course. It's going to be flat and boring. So I've been training on pretty flat roads and...
Slight rises, isn't there, out to the turn point,
but it's literally an out and back. It's going to be more of a mental game more than anything, but I'm on my bike, so it's fine. And then the run, which is probably going to be my hardest part for me. So I've been taking quite a bit of advice on heat strategy, what to do, get some tips and things around that. And just, that's the best bit I've got to concentrate on is just keeping on top of my hydration way before I even get onto the bike and onto the run. So on the run up to it. So if anybody's watching this, I think it'll probably actually, because it'll come out not pretty close to coming to Kona, but tips for jet lag is one thing I'm thinking about as well, just the travelness and how I'm going to feel. But
should be better because going that way.
Yeah, so I'm going to get a good 7 days transition.
Yeah, you're going to have 7 days to get
to acclimatise when we get there. So I've entered the training swim.
So have I.
Are you a little bit excited?
I'm a bit nervous because I've realised now that it's a non-wetsuit swim. I didn't realise that when I became a member of USA Triathlon.
But why are you doing this?
Oh no, Why am I what?
Why are you doing the training swim?
Why? Because you get a t-shirt. I thought it'd be quite cool to go to Hawaii and do an event and get a t-shirt. So I thought, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got obviously everything's pretty much just sorted. Flights, accommodation. We've got a really good crew. There's a few more people recently as well that we train with, and they've all taken up positions as well.
Couple more qualifiers, which is good.
Well. So the camp is growing, which is great. I'm excited to go and get there and race. I'm not going to lie. I'm tired. I'm tired. I think that
you and me both.
The training for both of us and stuff's been quite tested and things recently. I just think it's non-stop. I apologise to all of our friends and family for not seeing them as much as we would have liked, but hopefully in about 8 weeks' time we'll be able to hang up the trainers for a bit and make up for some lost time.
Yeah, so, a couple of weeks off.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks, is that it?
Yeah, well,
wow, what's going on?
No, well, nothing, but I was sure that after a couple of weeks I'll be like, I'm going to get back on it again. So,
someone's got the bug.
Yeah, I'd say got the bug, because I've been asked a question about the distance, the full distance. Oh, once you've done one, you'll want to do another. Yeah, after the last 2.5 weeks of training that I've had, I honestly won't. Because like you said about the training, it's been pretty full on. Getting home from work, is literally get home from work, get your gear on, go for a 2-hour run,
sleep, train,
come home, shower, eat, make your pack up, go to bed. Next night, come home, 2-hour bike, repeat. It's just, yeah. And I'm actually at work, setting my alarm on my phone at dinner time and having like a 10-minute power nap at dinner. Because I'm that tired, I'm actually literally falling asleep at work. So, yeah.
So, one thing that goes from that, I asked a few people earlier in the week some questions.
Oh.
And I think that leads on quite nicely because one of the questions that Phil has asked is, how do you keep motivated for training when you're feeling tired?
That's a good question. You have to keep looking at the target, what the target is. You have to have a target. If I didn't have a target, I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't just be able to go out and run or bike or whatever if I wasn't working towards something. So you need a goal. Well, that's my opinion. You need a goal, something to focus on. You need to have one eye on that all the time. So when it gets horrible, like in the garage the other night and what have you, and when you really can't be bothered and you set off and you think, oh, what am I doing this for?
What happened in the garage the other night?
Well, when I was doing a Zwift set and just couldn't get anywhere near any of the numbers or anything, and you came in and I basically said, just go away and leave me alone.
That was a polite way of saying it.
Yeah, those nights and days are not easy. I think training with someone helps. If you've got someone you can go training with, it keeps you motivated because you don't want to let them down if you're going to meet up and run or whatever, or bike. Swimming's slightly different because you just get in and swim. You don't really chat, do you, while you're doing it? But yeah, you need to have a target. So if you're struggling to motivate yourself, is it because you haven't got an event? If you haven't got an event, book one. Get an event booked, whatever it is. Then you've got a target to work towards and then focus on that. That keeps you going. That's what's kept me going.
No excuses.
And then just
don't
every now
allow
and
for the excuse.
Yeah,
it's too easy.
Yeah, it's too easy to say no. And then look back at when you started and what you were like, what you look like, what you were like, were you fit, whatever. Just what your journey's been. Look back at your journey and see how far you've come. Well, then when you see how far you've come and you realise there's only a short distance to go, it spurs you on then not to give up. So yeah, have an event, have something to focus on, have a target, keep one eye on that target all the time. Because I suppose it is easy to just take your eye off it. But if there's something there that's looming in the distance, it keeps you focused. So that's all right, Phil. Can't think of anything better. So
get the marathon book, Phil.
Get a marathon book, Phil. There you go. Any more questions?
Yeah, Marmite, love it or hate it.
Who's that from?
Aaron.
As a D. Well, as a D, Marmite, yeah. I am an advocate.
But you're not really.
Well, we do have some in the cupboard. I've got Marmite. What I'm going to ask...
We've got Marmite in the cupboard because it's a backup in case you've run out of Bovril.
Yeah, so what I'm going to ask, are you saying Marmite, question mark, because do you have it on toast or something like that? Because that's what I'm thinking you do. Well, if you do, I'm urging you to go to Bovril, because Bovril is better on toast than Marmite, much better. So give that a try as a D, see how you get on with that.
You've already spoken about your carbon up plan for next week, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna live on Bovril on toast for about 4 days. I think just white bread, carbing up. There's plenty of salt in Bovril as well, isn't there? Yeah, see, there you go. I won't need to carry any salt tablets. There'll just be salt oozing out of me everywhere. I'll have had that much in my system, probably have an heart attack.
Paint it on.
What, Bovril? Oh no, I draw the line. I mean, black nipple tape, yeah, but Bovril on your arm, I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. Awful. Any others?
Yeah, we have a few.
Oh, good.
Chris.
Which one?
Chris Stott.
Oh, Christopher Stott.
So the first one's a good one because he asks what the plans are to go back to triathlon. So
to go back to triathlon?
I'm assuming we're talking post Ironman Wales, maybe?
Oh, so he's already thinking...
Do you have, do I have any plans to go back to triathlon?
Do you?
After
Kona, is that it?
After
Are you
Kona,
retiring or...?
I'm not retiring.
You're not retiring, okay.
But I haven't got anything planned.
It's weird that he says, go back to triathlon. It's almost like I've left already, even though I've only just started and I've left and now am I going back? I'm assuming Chris means next year or after Wales. Like we've already said, I can't see me doing this distance again. That doesn't mean to say I won't do a shorter distance, the one with 70.3 in it. So I may be doing one of those next year, Chris. I may have already entered one, actually. But yeah, I think that's just more manageable. So yeah, I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying the training. I enjoy the racing.
You're a racer at heart, are you, babe?
Yeah, I just need to put a number on that and go a lot quicker when I've got a number on. So, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I will be carrying on next year. So keep tuning in to find out what it'll be. Ooh. Who knows?
So, he's got another question.
Okay.
Any plans to do ultra distance?
Well...
You've been there, done that, got a t-shirt?
I've been there. No, I didn't get a t-shirt, just got a medal.
Oh.
There was no t-shirt for that. But I'd have to say, because Chris done an ultra. Mm-hmm. He did the lap at Windermere, didn't he? Yeah, which is 50 miles, Chris, I think. No, I'd have to say, the only thing that I would attempt, which is an ultra and then some, and it's something that I've always...
Oh, are we doing it next year?
No, not next year.
Why not?
No, not yet.
Why not?
Shut up, will you? It's God.
Must do it next year.
No.
Why not?
No, there is something that I have always fancied doing, but it would need a lot of training, and it is more than an ultra. It's an absolutely crazy thing that you do. It's in the Lake District, and it's a long way, and that's all I'll tell you. So I have thought about that. But the training for that will be horrendous.
Can we train for it next year?
No, not yet. Give me a chance.
Mates,
anyone
want to join me?
So I can do it as part of a team, maybe, and do a leg, because it is 5 legs. So anyway, for those of you who know, probably are twigged on by now. But yeah, it's a long way in 24 hours. So yeah, I would do that. But I think I'd need a full year of training and going up there to specifically run in the Lake District to get used to the terrain, hills, running in the dark, running in the rain, to do it. So yeah, I would attempt that. Okay. But no over ultras. So just the Bob Graham. That's the only thing I would. The Bob Graham round, 42 peaks, over 66 miles in less than 24 hours. So I would have a go at that, but not next year.
Nearly.
So sorry, Chris. Yeah.
Chris
might be part of the team.
He has one more. Yeah. Join us, Chris. He's got another question. What are your favourite trainers for easy runs? Could this be part of Scary's second-hand bargain?
No, because I didn't bought any second-hand trainers.
Oh.
Well, if someone wants to buy them, they are second-hand now.
Maybe it's Scary's.
Easy. I only really wear one sort of trainers. I wear Hoka Mach 5s. I don't. They're fairly comfortable. I seem to run all right in them.
How many pairs you got now?
3. I've got 3 pairs. I've got one.
Why would you need 3 pairs?
Well, I've got one pair that I did have that's worn out because I've already trained in them a lot.
Why do you need 3 pairs?
Well, I've still got them because they're just I don't use them anymore. They're just like.
No, I'm just saying what you used to always say to me. Who needs 3 pairs of trainers? Right? You buy one, you chuck one pair out.
You've got way more than 3 pairs, so don't start. I've got the first pair that I bought, which I wore and were brilliant and really, really comfy, and I wore them and raced in them and I've done half marathon in them and what have you. Now they're resigned to just sitting in the corner, so they will be my shoes that I'll run to transition in Wales.
Ah, okay, well done.
Because when you come out of the swim at Wales, for those of you who don't know, you all probably do, but if you don't, when you come out of swim at Wales, you run up the beach and then you've got a zigzag path to go up to get up to sort of the top of the cliff. So it's about a kilometre run up the zigzag path, then through the town to get to transition. We don't want to be doing that in bare feet.
Have you decided how you carry in your bag?
Oh no, I haven't thought about that yet. So they let you have a pair of trainers in a bag and they hang them up on pegs on the way up the railings, don't they? So you find your number and put your trainers on and then you can run to transition in a pair of trainers. So those I will use for that because you just want an old pair of shoes. The other pair, at the minute, the middle pair are the ones I'm training in and the newest pair are the ones I'm racing in.
Okay.
But I have been training in them as well, obviously.
Okay.
So that technically I've only got 2 active pairs. Okay. Not like Jordan who's got about 10. Okay. I've only got 2. All right. So yeah, Hoka Mach 5s, Chris. I don't really mess about trying any different ones. I know it's like Meta Speeds and Nike, whatever they are, and all that sort of stuff, and Ons or whatever you've got.
I was just looking for them.
But I find the Hoka's quite comfortable, so I just stick with what's comfortable.
One more question.
Okay.
To improve your pace running, do you try and run for longer, or the same distance and push harder? If you're trying to improve your pace at running, so if you're trying to improve your running.
So obviously to try and run at a faster pace, do I either run?
I think for me, combination of the both. You still need your long runs in for your endurance, which will then in turn help increase your pace. But then you also need to have the shorter, harder
And I think track sessions
to go faster.
Track sessions during the winter, I think, are good for that. Because I'll be the last one at track, getting slowly left behind by everybody else and lapped by several people, several times during the hour. But obviously it does work, just doing 400s and then a rest and what have you. So I would say, answering that question, for me, the speed sessions at track work, the longer distances do them. I tend to find I run really slow doing longer distances. So at the minute I've been averaging like between 8.5 and 9 minute miling, and that's when I'm pushing on a long run as well. But if I put a race number on, I can go 1.5 a mile quicker. How does that make sense?
You're a racer.
Northlink's half, 7:10 average.
You're trained for that though.
Yeah, I know, but 7:10 average. I couldn't get anywhere near that again after that. It's like I'd be lucky if I could do 8:10, even if I was really going for it. But I did that for 13 miles. I've got no idea how that happened. I think it's just a number thing. Put a number on, run faster.
So we spoke before we started this podcast today, and we realised that we don't actually have a Scary second-hand bargain.
No, we don't this week because I haven't been buying anything. because I've been too busy training. I haven't bought. The only thing I bought is tyres for my bike. They were brand new, obviously. So I don't have a second
So I
hand.
haven't picked anything up. So
We'll have to wait and see what I've managed to buy before the next one, because I'll be back shopping again by then, because I'll be obviously laid up doing nothing. So I'll be buying all sorts of junk. So yeah, no, there's no. So the bike, obviously, that was in second-hand bargains on the last episode, I'm not actually using that at Tenby.
You're going to be using a different second-hand bike.
I'm going to use a different second-hand bike that I bought, which was the first second-hand bike that I bought, which was 400 quid, second-hand road bike. Which has now been made a bit more comfortable. Thank you very much, you know who you are. And it was so it wasn't comfortable, but it is now. It's a lot better. But I just realised we went out for a training ride and we did about 70 miles probably, did we? Something like that. And I went on my TT bike, but it was really windy, wasn't it? So I couldn't get in the aero position because it was, a lot of the roads was side wind. So it was blowing me about everywhere and I didn't feel confident getting down in aero. So I had to do the full ride basically. I'm resting on my wrists, which made my hands go numb, which gave me pain in my shoulder and my back. And I suddenly thought, I know it's fast, this bike, but it ain't very comfortable like this. So what if I go to Wales and it's windy and I have to ride it like this? I'm not going to get anywhere on it. I'm not going to be able to walk when I get off the bike, never mind run.
I think the hardest thing that we learned after having that conversation, or you learned after having that conversation, was when you've been away, you've been training on your road bike.
Yeah.
Now, the hardest part of it is, and I'll say to anybody, whatever you're going to race on, you need to be, for an Ironman, in my opinion, that's what you need to do all your training on, because TT position is not comfortable.
No.
You need to learn about to get uncomfortable and to be in uncomfortable positions. Like now, I know that I'm doing 112 miles in TT, pretty much in TT
you will be
position.
in Kona, yeah.
So I need to make sure that on my training rides that I'm doing now, I am literally in that groove where it's like, sometimes yes, you get up, you have a wiggle around and things and stuff, but you'll come off the ride, but you're better prepared to run. So as much as it's you adapt, like your muscles adapt, you train your muscles, you train your shoulders, you train everything around you to be in those positions. And I think that that's one thing that people learn. It's like when people go on the TT bike, it's like, you'll look fast, you'll look. You look like that, but
you've got to be sensible.
Yeah. So you obviously that day you realised that when we spoke about it, that actually you probably haven't spent that much time on that bike, so you knew it would ruin you more by doing that.
After that day, I also thought back, and I was in pain when I did the Lakesman.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think the reason I had pain in my back was because I tried to keep in the aero position as much as I could on the way back on the Lakesman, and obviously wasn't used to being in that position for such a long time. That was why I struggled to run, because I had pain in my back and my hip all the time. That's why I couldn't pick my legs up. So I think that was partly it. My bike speed was impressive. I was impressed with it. I was pleased with how fast I went, but I think it then hampered my run, because I was then in pain and struggled to run. You
realise that it was like your seat's been hitting your piriformis and things as well. So you've understood now that actually that being in that position was, at the time, is probably not good for you. But you train to you work your body around how that works, and more stretching in different positions, and you adapt.
Yeah, but that was after 56 miles. So if I did manage to get 212. I don't think I'd be in any state to even walk, never mind do anything else. So it's like,
right decision, babe.
I'm going there to finish. So that's another reason why I'm going to revert back to my old cycling shoes as well. My 20 quid specials, they were 20 quid. The first pair of cycling shoes I ever bought, 20 quid off eBay. I'll be wearing them because they're more comfortable. So it's all right looking flash in your bright yellow city shoes, but because they haven't really got much of an inner sole in, There's not a lot in them. They're not very comfy. After 112 miles, your feet are going to be hurting. And then you've got to run a marathon. So what's the point? Wear some comfy shoes.
Wear what you've been
Yeah,
training
exactly.
in.
Wear what you've been training in. So that's...
And that's one thing I would say now, when it comes to next week, don't change anything.
Oh, I'm not.
Like, I think that people... That's one of the biggest things that when it comes to racing, that people will start changing something. Why start changing things when it comes to the most important day where you need everything to be foolproof and completely right? So you see people like the day before, like thinking, oh, I need to change my cleats, or I need to go do this, or I need to go buy new shoes, or I need to go buy a new helmet. And why? Because you're putting yourself in a situation where your feet might hurt. It might be different on your head. It might be too hot for your head.
Yeah.
Just
wear what you used to.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things is don't think, I'll try that. It's the wrong day for it.
Yeah, like with nutrition as well.
Everything,
same thing.
Everything that you've been doing, you literally just turned up on the same day, but the only thing that's different is you're putting a number on you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And everything's actually made easier for you because your nutrition's are more available. There's feed stations are there. You've got support. So everything else around it's.
And the roads are closed.
It's the victory time. It's the time to say, right, I've put all this hard work in. Go and enjoy it and race hard.
It's all right saying go and enjoy it.
Well,
and I will try to.
You will smile.
I will try to enjoy some of it if I can. Yeah, because that's what it's all about. It's remembering it. But we'll see what the day brings, and then see how we get on.
So, so I suppose, like, for you sitting here on this podcast and things, and you're taking tips away about what to do and how to learn on certain things, my best thing is that don't put yourselves in situations where you find that people panic on race day. People start questioning stuff. They're starting to go into a little bit of meltdown. Just put yourself in your own zone. And I think that's what everyone else should do, is that just put yourself in your own zone and forget about what everybody else is going on around you. You don't need other people's...
Oh, I won't be taking any notice.
I know.
It's because I'm not that kind of...
Yeah.
It's like I have a plan, or I will have. By the time we get to race day morning, I will have a plan, and then I'll try to execute that plan as best I can. If I can't, because something happens out of my control, then that plan will have to change as the race goes on. But I'll have a plan. As far as I'm concerned, there could be nobody else racing, because I won't be, it won't be, if I see somebody I know, I think, I'll have to try and catch them up or whatever. Those bears.
Run your own race.
Yeah, I'm just doing my own race at my own speed, and that's what I'm doing. And if it gets me to the end, then it's worked. So that's it. So yeah, if someone passes me or whatever, or it is what it is. It's just have a nice day. See you later. That's it. So yeah, I don't get swayed by what other people are doing. So that doesn't really make any difference. So I think I'm more or less ready.
You are ready.
Yeah, I mean,
you've done the training.
my knees are hurting as usual, and and I've had a bit of a funny pain in my arm. Dave Key, if you're watching, just there, that pain that me and you both have, just there. Yeah, it's going though at the minute, so not too bad. So I think I'll be all right. I think I'm ready. I think it's one of them where it's just come at the right time now, where it's just, I'm looking forward to having a day or two off this weekend, and then a little bit of light training early part of next week, and then we'll be off to Tenby, and then you get immersed in it then, and that's when you want to go. That's when you're ready and you want to get on with it. So I'm just going to try and enjoy the experience as much as I can, and hopefully get to the finish and ring the bell and get me medal. We'll see how it goes, and then I can have a bit of a rest, and then
get your tattoo.
Get me tattoo, and then we'll think about going to Hawaii, won't we?
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't. yeah, I'm sure that I've got the race guide printed out somewhere, so I've started reading through that. So
You ready?
I'm pretty relaxed at the minute, to be honest. I'll feel better in a couple of days when I've had a bit of a rest, I think. When Mel said something the other day about, my legs hurt when I ran upstairs. I haven't been able to run upstairs for about a month. I can walk up them, but I haven't been able to run up them. So that was, made me laugh a bit. So yeah, I'm good. And then it's over to you then.
It is showtime.
Showtime on the big island.
So yeah. So next time when we come back on to record the podcast, Ironman Wales will have gone past.
It will.
Retrieving will have gone past.
Retrieving will have gone past.
Saundersfoot will have gone past.
Yes. Oh, you
And
look.
we will literally be a week before we go
before.
to Hawaii.
We will. So you'll have 2 race reports.
Don't you be sat there in your Hawaii swim t-shirt and taking my glory.
I won't be in it then. Oh, that'll be ages away. No, you're talking months away, yeah. I might do a few clips when we get there. Only if I get the t-shirt though. If I fail to get the t-shirt, I won't be. See what happens. So that about wraps it up then, does it?
Yeah.
For this one. So we'll have to see. Might be guest time next time, or definitely the time after. We could have loads of guests in the post-Hawaii one.
Yeah.
We might need a bigger studio to get everybody in.
Well, that's not a bad idea. Do something a little bit different.
Something a bit different,
Yeah.
couldn't we? We'll have a think on that. But that'll be it then. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.
Bit of a recap on this month, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bit of a recap on pre-racing, pre-dragon slaying.
Yeah. On that note. Thanks for watching. See you soon.